my superstars like Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, John Holt, you know, people like that.
Legends.
And then I kind of fell in love with the DJ, with the MCs. I was on King Tubby's for a while in Brixton. And then when I left Cecil, I kind of went over to Saxon. And there was a lot of talented people there, you know. People like Papa Levi, Rusty, Sandy, my sister Miss Irie, you know, people like Smiley Coljas, the Senator, Roger Robin. All these talented people were there, so it kind of like inspired me. It pushes you. When you're around talented people, they push you, you know what I mean? Because if somebody comes in and they smash the place to pieces, and you're up next, you have to deliver. And they had the music and they had the MCs. And that's kind of what stood us above all of the other sounds, because we had the best MCs at the time. All of us would jump on it. So that's why Levi came with Me God Me King, you know, Jaman Me Cool, and something like me on the walk on the street, and going for whatever the down. And I was all the time the lyric a rhyme, me slim, me fine, me know for wine. And Colonel was me white, me black, me slim, me fat, for the mic, the trap, the cream of the crap, the jack of the fuck of the wood of the pluck of the shack of the tack of the flip of the top of the, you know what I mean? So it's just a learning curve, you know, just learning about the culture, learning about the music and how the whole thing works, and how to wire up the sound, how to run the speaker boxes, the wires, everything.
You use echo chamber?
Yes, they did. Saxon had everything, man. All their special effects, noise effects, and you know, that's what they would use to sign on the sound.
What was the Shaka dance like? Must have been amazing.
It was like a college, you know, you know. It's just inspirational when you see somebody that is just so, you know, in love with what he's doing. So, you know, normal stuff what people used to wear in the back in the day, crocodile shoes, Farrah pants, Gavici, then, you know, I used to just have some guys used to have the beaver caps, but I just had my own style. I just was different. This knowledge,
Can you hold it up to the camera?
It's knowledge, man. It's knowledge. It's my autobiography. So all what we were speaking about earlier, it's in
On
here.
this week's show, I have someone who's a big influence, who was rocking the microphone alongside many other legendary MCs who were perfecting their craft in the parks of South London. And at an early age, had a chart hit with Hello Darling, and performed on Top of the Pops in March 1986. This is someone that is naturally gifted and is a powerhouse, a true wordsmith. And he's also an author and has just released a brand new book called Stick to My Roots, which I can't wait to talk about. We have the super talented, the highful, scareful, the big Don himself in the back, the one and the only, Tippa! Yes, Tippa!
How are you, sir?
It's an honour, my man.
It's a pleasure to be here. It's nice to be in the back of a taxi.
Yeah, exactly. We're quite rare nowadays, but yeah, there's only about 15,000 of us left.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Yeah, but it's nice. Thank you for the invite, man. I mean, you've had some pucker people in there, you know, Brinsley Ford and Rodney P.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be in the chair.
Now listen, it's an honour, Tippa. And first thing first as well, I like to say you look absolutely incredible. Look at you. What are you doing, man, to keep yourself looking so fresh?
I'm trying. I just do like a little swim and try not to eat too late, and just try my best to keep active.
And you're trying
look
to
after myself.
You're on that health tip.
Yeah, because you got to end it, because everything's kind of gone to pop these days. The NHS is no good anymore. It takes forever to get a doctor's appointment. You know, there's a lot of things that's just gone pear-shaped in this country that we used to call Great Britain. But now it's not so great.
It's kind of been destroyed, isn't it, Tippa?
Yeah, they're messing it up, man. Every day. All of these roads around here. I used to have a house around here.
Listen, man, don't get me started on the roads. My blood pressure's going to go through the taxi roof.
Well, the thing is, you know, they cut. You know, we're down to 20 miles an hour. All of the roads that we used to take.
The cut throughs, cut throughs.
They've all cut them off. So it's like,
And congestion. I dropped someone in Streatham yesterday, right? No word of a lie. It took me about 45 minutes just to go down the high road.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ridiculous.
And the thing is, it's like what amazes me, and really what's kind of hit home to me, that they don't really care about the common man anymore, because it's the ambulances. You know, these cut through roads, the ambulance them used to take them as well to go and rescue people or to get to people quicker. So if they've cut off all of those roads, then how are the ambulance them are going to go to get people? They're adding to wait time and all of this for people that might need an ambulance in an emergency. So it's pretty sad.
Seriously, man. I mean, what can I say? I mean, we could actually rant on about this for a few hours.
We could talk about this and forget about music and the book. But let's talk about music and the book. Let's forget the system for a minute.
Exactly. Yeah. So like. First two, by the way, it's an absolute honour to have you in the back of the cab, and we are going to be taking this back to the root, back to where it all kind of started. And I can't wait to talk about the book as well, which looks absolutely incredible. But first two questions, Tippa, I always kick it off with is, whereabouts are you from, and what was it like growing up, back in the day as a young Tippa?
Well, I was born in Dulwich Hospital.
That's
in
right.
Dulwich, and obviously I grew up around there for a while. My dad had a shop there. And then he moved us to Brixton, and then we was in Brixton Hill for a bit. And then from Brixton Hill, we went to Loughborough Junction. And that's where my roots really started with the music and growing up. And my childhood was, off of Cole Harbour Lane, off of Brixton. And then when my dad went back to Jamaica, my mum moved us up to Streatham, which is, where we are now. You know what I'm saying? So, from Dulwich to Brixton, from Brixton to Streatham, and in that kind of radius is where, South London, where I kind of grew up.
Back, I was going to say, back in the 70s, Tippa, London and probably the whole of the UK was a very, very divided place. People would live in certain areas and you'd congregate. It was a very very racist time. If you was black, if you was Indian, if you was Chinese, if you was disabled, if you was a woman, you was going to have a hard time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, areas now that are very gentrified, like Hackney and Brixton and even Harlesden and all of these places were mainly black communities. You know what I mean? So we used to kind of gravitate to those. Well, that's where we kind of, grew up, and we rallied around in those areas. You know what I'm saying? So Brixton, it was kind of more, Brixton Market was more, black people. You know what I mean?
The market must have been buzzing.
Yeah, it was buzzing, man. And the front line was right there. And then you had Acre Lane and, all these places right in the area. Then you had the estates, them where all of the kids them used to hang out and play. You had Mikesfield Estate and, and Angel Town and all of these places where we used to congregate and play football. And then we had youth centres, which the youths them are not so much, they've closed down a lot of the youth centres, and adventure playgrounds.
They were amazing, weren't they, Tippa?
Yeah, we had adventure playgrounds.
Do you remember them? You remember them rope swings you hang off?
Yes, I remember them well. When I was as slim, I could climb them once upon a time. But yeah, it was an amazing time. Even though we had the racism, we had, my parents in the 60s, because I was born 1965. So obviously those times it was no Irish, no blacks, no dogs, or dogs, no black, no Irish, whatever how you want to put it. So my parents went through, you had the, a lot of the racist National Front and the, skinheads and the, teddy boys and all these different types of people that, didn't, claim that my parents were coming there to take their jobs and all these kind of things. So they went through that, but it was still, my dad was a hard working man and so was my mum. So they instilled that in me, but they, my dad wasn't really in a no mix up with anybody. He used to just go to the market, he used to go to the fruit market, fish market, whatever the Caribbean community needed, my dad would sell it in his greengrocers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was more focused on that, focused on sports, and focused on music. You know what I mean?
That's what it was all about then, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, and we went through the riots and we're still young.
Yeah, I was going to say like 1981, you know, that was kind of boiling point. You know, it was like you had obviously the New Cross fire, rest in peace to everyone in New Cross, back in 81. And then obviously a bit later, obviously the Brixton riots.
Yeah.
You know, for people that wasn't really growing up in that era, it's kind of hard to describe what London was like, isn't it? See now is these polished buildings, this like, you know, beautiful, shiny.
No, it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that, was it, Tippa?
No, it wasn't like that. But there was still a lot of things about it which was much better than what it is now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As much as it was
community spirit.
Yeah.
Community
there was
spirit.
more of a community vibe and, you know, music and sports and, you know, and us as young men chasing women and enjoying. We still had fun, even though we didn't have a lot. You know what I mean? We never had a lot of money or a lot of stuff like that, but we still enjoyed ourselves, and I feel we enjoy ourselves even more now. I mean, even more than the youths are doing now. I'm kind of happy I was born in those times. You know?
Yeah, there was a lot more for us to do. There was a lot more freedom.
Freedom, yeah.
You know, nowadays, like, you know, I don't want to.
You can't breathe.
You know, you don't really go out. You're trapped in your room, stuck behind a phone or behind a tablet, playing a game or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, where back in our day, really, there was only 3 channels, wasn't it?
That's right. So you had to find things to occupy, but now there's 50 million channels. You can have a selection of whatever you want to watch, and from channels around the world. So if you want to see what's going on in the Caribbean or wherever, in Russia or whatever channel you want to find, you can find it now.
You can find it, it's all there,
Sky, it's all there in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to, you know, you have to go out there. You know, you have to kind of pick yourself up. You know, this is why I'm trying, you know, to keep myself active, go to the gym, you know, do interviews like this, and then when I leave you, I got a dub plate session, and then when I finish that, there's something in the West End for the performing PPL. They've got like an exhibition, so I'm gonna go to that. And you know, so it's things you just got to try to keep yourself active, keep the mind ticking, keep yourself going. You know.
Yeah, exactly, 100% Tippa. Going back to your dad, you know, your dad was in sound system, wasn't it? Like,
yes, musical Messiah.
Messiah sound.
Musical Messiah.
Wicked.
Set the place on fire.
And didn't you have the real thing? They rehearsed back in the...
Yeah, there was a few bands from, you know, the 70s that used to rehearse in my dad's basement. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So me, as a youth, I used to just sit there and just, you know, just watch them, just learn and just watch them and just get engrossed in the music and see them do their thing. And I think that's why, you know, I kind of really, although my dad had his sound, and he used to play the music from his home, you know what I mean? Jim Reeves and Bob Marley, you know, Culture, Burning Spear, you know, all the roots music, you know what I'm saying? He used to play all of that. But then obviously my superstars like Dennis Brown, Gregory Isaac, John Holt, you know, people like that.
Legends.
And then I kind of fell in love with the DJ, with the MCs. With U-Roy, I-Roy, Big Ute, Dillinger, Tapazuki, Dennis Al Capone, all these people, I just fell in love with that side of the music. And them guys kind of inspired me to become an MC. And then a little later on, it was like, you know, Josie Wells, Charlie Chaplin, Brigadier Jerry. And then a bit further down, it's Papa San, Lieutenant Stitchie, Professor Nuts. All these guys, you know, kind of inspired me. And from the UK, it was people like Papa Face, Ricky Rankin, you know, Tippa Rankin, Rankin Merva, all these, you know, people from that was over here that was doing their thing. Inspired me, you know what I mean, wanted to become an MC.
So, you know, Tippa, so much incredible talent, you know.
Yeah, that's what it's, that's what kind of made Saxon as well kind of excel, because obviously I was on King Tubby's for a while in Brixton, and then when I left Cecil, I kind of went over to Saxon, and there was a lot of talented people there, you know, people like Papa Levi, Rusty, Sandy, my sister Miss Irie, you know, people like Smiley Coljas, the Senator, Roger Robin, all these talented people were there. So it kind of like inspired me. It pushes you. When you're around talented people, they push you, you know what I mean? Because if somebody comes in and they smash the place to pieces, then and you're up next, you have to deliver. And I think that's what made Saxon kind of go to the next level. And then people like myself.
Saxon, absolutely incredible. I mean, absolute legendary sound. I mean, it was formed in Lewisham, isn't it? Back in 1976.
That's correct.
And it was Lloyd, Musclehead Francis and Dennis Rowe back in the 70s. So, you know, how did you get to like join Saxon? Because didn't you have your own sound back in Tipograph sound?
Yeah, we had our little sound, but it was just like, you know, schoolboys, you know, having our little set. You know what I mean? And that was what Tipograph was. We didn't really play out as such. We was more like a bedroom thing, you know, where we kind of learned our craft, and we used to make cassettes and just so that people could hear us.
Tipper, how did that work? Did you have a little sound system like in your room and a microphone, and then you'd be practicing in front of each other?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We just used to entertain each other.
How often would you practice?
Well, we do that just whenever we could, really, because mainly at the weekends, because obviously in the week you got school, you know, and you got chores to do. You got to clean the house. I got to help my dad in the shop. I got to go market with my dad. So when the weekend come, and even then at the weekend it was still hard because my dad had the shubbing going on. So I needed to help him with that. So yeah, it was you know, it was fun. It was, you know, it was a learning process, and you're just learning your craft, and you're practicing every day. And then as you go along, you just get better and better, and then people start to realize, say, yo, you sound good, you know, you need to get yourself out there. So, you know, those days we would go into dances, we're looking for girls, you know, we're dancing with women, smoking weed, having a little baby sham, pink lady, special brew.
Baby sham, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All of them drinks, we used to drink all of them drinks. Can I? And, you know, some of the brother them used to drink special brew and Tennant.
Tennant Super.
Yeah, Tennants and all of that. But I was never kind of into all of that kind of stuff. I never really fascinated me.
It's so strong, isn't it?
Yeah, too special, especially the special brews too. I see many a man come from Jamaica and think that they can drink the special brew like Red Stripe, and then they end up on the floor. Yeah, you know what I mean.
It's too much.
Yes, So, you know.
But it was fantastic back then. I mean, yes. As I say, with Saxon, you know, how did Saxon hear about you and bring you into their sound?
Well, I was at a talent competition in Ferndale Sports Centre, and Lloyd and Dennis were there. I don't know if they were playing there or they just came there, but they just said, yo, you got to come and chat on our sound. And, you know, I'm pretty easygoing, you know, and at that time, for me, anywhere where I could go and get a mic and be in front of a microphone and entertain people, you just go. And it was like that with Saxon, you know, and then I just started to went over there a couple of times and started to touch the mic, and then after that it just rolled. I just started to roll with them, and you know, they paid me a little bit more than Tubby's, not much, maybe £7 more. So I thought, you know what, I'm getting a lot of herb around here, I'm getting paid a little better, drinks are flowing, women are flowing, everything's flowing, so it was like a young guy.
It's like a win-win.
Win-win, a young guy, you know, young, dumb and full of whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of them ones, but you know, I was having fun, man. I was enjoying my life.
In terms of like, you know, the sound system, in terms of like, you know, the setup and all that, Like, where were the speakers being made for the sound? Was there like certain places they were being made?
Yeah, we had a certain, I mean, I can't remember the name of, I know there was a guy called Ray that used to build the amplifiers. And Stereograph used to go to a place where they built their preamp and stuff like that. I can't remember where it was. We had a brother called Kaz that, in fact, he was my neighbor actually. He used to live across the road from me. And I think he used to build some of Saxon's boxes. And obviously they had a few other people that built their boxes, but I can't remember their names.
But the sound must be pivotal in terms of sound system, because you need that wicked sound and the bass.
Yeah, it's got to be, you have to have a good quality. Saxon had a decent sound system. You know, it wasn't the best quality. You know, sounds like Stereograph were had really good sound quality. You know what I mean? And Saxon kind of modeled bits, preamps and stuff off of them. But there was a few sounds that I would say had better, maybe sound system. But Saxon had a good, decent sound, and they had the music and they had the MCs. And that's kind of what stood us above all of the other sounds, because we had the best MCs at the time. You know, there was a few other MCs out there that were decent, like Maccabee, Pato Banton, them guys, they're from the Midlands. You know what I mean? They especially Maccabee was an excellent MC. You know what I mean? And then you had, you know, people like Daddy Willie and from Young Lion, them guys were okay. Demon Rockers and Flinty from Unity. They were good as well. So, you know, you had a few MCs out there, you know, that were good. You know what I'm saying? But with Saxon MCs, if we were all there, it would be very difficult for a sound to kind of overthrow us, you know.
Did the speed chatting as well? You know, that speed chatting was incredible.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
How was you kind of, you know, perfecting that speed chat? I mean, it must have just been practice after practice after practice.
Yeah, it was a gentleman called Peter King. You know, he first done me neat, me sweet, me north, me call me ear, me brush me teeth. Papa San said it was somebody else that created it over there in Jamaica, but we know it as Peter King. He's the one that done that first, and then all of us. That's how we used to do it back in the day. If somebody came with something that was unique, like the fast, like he kind of sped it up, which is double time it. All of us would jump on it. So that's why Levi came with Me God, Me King, you know, Jaman, me cool, no stopping like me on me walk on the street, no going for fool, wherever the dance. And I was all the time the lyric a rhyme, me slim, me fine, me know for wine. And Colonel was me white, me black, me slim, me fat, for the bite, the trap, the cream of the crop, the jack of the pack of the wood of the flack of the shack of the tack of the pliff of the top of the, you know what I mean? So, wow. And we used to just all feed off of each other and kill all the other sounds because they couldn't do what we could do.
In terms of sound system, Tippa, how was the sound kind of like? How was the sound move? Did you like have like one of them kind of full transits?
Yeah, we had a big sound van. We used to have a guy called Wurzel. We used to call him Wurzel Gummies Mickey. God rest his soul now.
R.I.P.
I think he died. I think he had too much cholesterol or something, and it caught up with him. But yeah, he used to drive our sound van.
And that must have been fun, man, in the van.
Yeah, well, when you're just starting, that's what it was like. When I was on King Tubby's, we used to just have to bang, say, yo, stop, pull over, we need to go toilet. But it was fun. We used to just be in there, laughing, joking, holding on for dear life. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was fun times, man. It was fun times. It was fun to be, you know, it's just a learning curve, you know, just learning about the culture, learning about the music and how the whole thing works and how to wire up the sound, how to run the speaker boxes, the wires, everything. So, you know, it was a good time. It was a really blessing, you know what I mean, to experience that, you know, I'm glad that I did.
It's kind of like a full-on operation, isn't it, to get everything like working in order?
Yeah, you got from you know what you're doing, You know, it can be easy, you know what I'm saying? And if you've got a team of people, you've got the box boys, them, bringing the equipment, place them where they need to be places, then they run the wires, and then they connect them to the preamp, to the amp and everything, and then you're up and running. And then once the sound is up and running, then you check the mic, check, mic check. And then, you know, you start spitting the lyrics and then dance nice.
Was it just like one deck, or was it like a 2 deck?
Nah, just one deck.
Just what's one deck with it?
Yeah, it's more in the 90s.
That the two come in.
Stone Love, I think it was more Stone Love and those sounds that introduced the double deck.
So you used to have the one deck, and how many microphones? 2 microphones?
Most of the time it was one. We just used to share the mic, you know. We used to pass mic hand to hand, so most of the time it was one. Maybe 1 and 2 occasions they might have 2, but normally it's just one mic.
And did you use echo chamber?
Yes, they did. Saxon had everything, man. All their special effects, noise effects, and you know, that's what they would use to sign on the sound, which is the special effects. And once you hear that clicking through, you know that things are up and running.
Things are bubbling, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You know that. And like, you know, key locations. I mean, like, first time I see a reggae sound system was in the late 70s in Deptford New Cross in Fulham Park.
Okay.
Near Moonshot.
Yes.
I don't know who it was. It may have been Jar Shaka. It could have been Saxon. I've got no idea. But I was young. I was like maybe 10 or something like that. It's down near Woodpecker Estate.
Okay.
And all I remember, Tippa, was like, it was such a moving moment. I was walking down, you know, to the park to go and visit my cousins, and I heard the bass from these speakers. And I looked over and, like, you know, people skanking, and, like, you know, it was just such such a magical moment, you know, that I can never forget.
Yeah, it's a freedom, man. We had more freedom then, you know. There wasn't so much hostility as it was now, you know. Yes, there was the odd fight, the odd scuffle, you know, but in them days you'd punch up with somebody and then the next couple of weeks you're talking again. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, those were the days, you know, we could go to the park, just relax, you know, not too much police presence. You know, it was just cool. It was just nice, you know, family picnic vibes. You know, people would be cooking food and sit down and eat, and you know, music I play, you know, MCs MCing, and the vibes was nice, man. I miss those times.
And like a big part of reggae culture was the skanking dance, which originated in the 50s in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Did you like to like skank as well? Did you dance as well? And
yeah, I mean, I was sorry, I'm yawning, but yeah, I
just come from the gym, innit?
Just come from the gym. Yeah, I was a dancer before I was an MC. So I used to go to shaka dances and skank, and then whatever sound was playing, and then I used to dance to soul music as well. And
what was a shaka dance like? Must have been amazing.
It was like a college, you know, like you know, it's just inspirational when you see somebody that is just so, you know, in love with what he's doing. You know, you can see that he just loves the music. So, you know, standing by the speakers there, you couldn't stand by them for too long because the bass will blow you over. So watch the band, plays tunes, turn it over, play the dub, and he's skanking while he's playing the tunes, and everybody's just engrossed. You know, everybody's just memorized. It's like watching a Bob Marley when Bob was at his peak. You know, it's when he's in the zone, when somebody's in that zone. It's pretty similar to Abashanti, you know, Mark Iration, all these guys. You know, they really know what they're doing. You know, Channel 1 sound, you know, all of those root sounds. They're still keeping the culture alive, you know what I'm saying? But Shaka's dances were memorable, and, you know, it was like a aerobics class.
A full-on workout.
Full-out workout, yeah, man, definitely. So, because when you come out, you're sweating, you've done a full workout because you've been dancing and skanking all night, you know what I mean? So you go home, you jump in the bath and just soak, and then boom, get up. Next day we'd go to play football on the Sunday, you know what I'm saying? And then Monday, you know, back in the shop,
Yeah, absolutely magical times, and a big RIP to Jar Shaka as well.
Yeah, another legend gone, you know, but with, you know, you never see a birthday cake with, you know, 200 candles.
Can you also tell me the importance, Tippa, of like the selector?
Well, he's the glue, innit? He's the person that, you know, can make or break the session. You know what I mean? So you need somebody that basically knows what they're doing, knows how to play tunes, knows how to play tunes back to back.
Read the crowd.
Yeah, read the crowd. I mean, back in the day, to be quite honest, our selectors them had it quite easy because there was so much MCs, so much entertainers. So, you know, by the time it gets back for them to actually find another tune, that might be 15, 20 minutes because there's all these MCs and singers that want to go on the instrumental. So Musclehead and Trevor and them guys, they had it quite easy because there was a lot of entertainers around Saxon. So it's not like now where they got to fine tunes, you know, one after the other, even though Trevor Sax is a great selector. You know what I mean? So he can mash up any dance, you know what I'm saying?
I think quite an important part of like record digging or getting the latest records was there was a place in southeast London, New Cross, a place called British Homophone.
Okay.
And I think that's where quite a few of the records were coming out of, you know?
Okay. I know Dennis and Lloyd, they were the ones that used to cut all of the plates. Mainly Musclehead used to go to Jamaica and go to, you know, Jammy Studio with people like Bobby Digital and Arrow's Studio. All these studios, they used to go and cut the dub plates them. So they used to get a lot of plates from Jamaica, you know what I mean? And then a few from here. I think they used to cut a lot at Music House as well in North London. And there was another guy, I can't remember his name, over West London.
Going back to like the 1980, there was a pivotal film, and I've interviewed Brinsley Ford, you know, absolutely incredible interview with Brinsley, and that film was called Babylon.
Yeah.
You know, that film really summed up London, what it was like back in like the late 70s and the early 80s. I mean, you must have loved Babylon.
Yeah, it's a good film. I mean, you know, films like that, like I said, they're inspiring. You know, and when you watch something like that, you know, and you're kind of watching yourself, ain't you? You're watching, you know, you're kind of like watching yourself in the mirror of how we grew up in the UK and going. I think Shaka is actually in that movie as well.
Shaka is, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was like for us. So it's kind of like a reflection of what's going on in what was going on at the time. In the UK, kind of like the Top Boy today, but the only thing with Top Boy is to me, you know, it was just a lot of negativity. You know what I mean? We need things to be more, to show the youth a more positive light, more than just drugs and selling drugs and killing each other.
But yeah, that film Babylon was amazing, and also, like, you know, you're an incredible lyricist, Tippa.
Thank you.
Do you know what I mean? Absolutely incredible. In my eyes, you're an absolute legend. What was inspiring you to write your lyrics? Was it like everyday kind of life?
Yeah, definitely. Everyday stuff, everyday things, you know. It could be about the Brixton riots, the New Cross fire, you know, and then it could be about Rupert the Bear, you know, or, you know, the generation game, or, you know, things. It could be about football, you know. It could be about, you know, visiting Jamaica the first time, you know what I mean, and coming off the plane and just seeing pure black people. You know, for me, that was like, wow, okay, everyone looks like me, you know, because I've never seen that before, because I was born in England. So, you know, to come off a plane and see just pure black people everywhere was, for me, was kind of like a buzz. So, yeah, lyrics come from anywhere. I can write a lyric about sitting in this cab, doing this interview, you know what I mean? So it's just inspiration, and inspiration comes from any situation. So sometimes what I'm going through in my life, that's what I tend to write about a lot of the time. So if I'm in love with a beautiful woman, love songs come out. If I'm angry, you know, I've been through a lot of traumatic things in my life. You know, I've lost my mom, I've lost my dad, I've lost my sister. So you go through traumatic things. I've got divorced, you know what I mean? So all these things affect you, and you know, so you have to be strong, but I still write about them, you know what I mean? Whether it be in a book or whether it be in song, but if it's personal, I put it in a particular way where it can be general, where it can relate to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Would you say it was kind of, in some ways, it's kind of like a release?
Yeah, definitely.
A creative kind of release?
Definitely, 100%. It definitely is a release, because if you do that, you might end up, if you don't release it, you might end up doing something silly. You know what I'm saying? So it's best to release it. It's best to try to take the positive somehow from the circumstance and from the situation. You know, because sometimes we're always human, we all make mistakes, you know, and then, but it's the key is to try to learn from the mistakes that you've made and try not to do them again.
Tippa, like in 1986, you know, you released Hello Darling, which hit the top 40. You know, that must have been like a pivotal moment for you. And also you was very young, you know.
Hello Darling, I was about maybe 19.
I was 19?
Yeah. When I was 17, I did The Opposite, which was my first single for Celoid, which was on the B-side of a tune called My Valentine, I Wanna Make You Mine, by this guy called Tokes. But Hello Darling came after, because the Opposite was on Celoid label, LGR. After that, I did some live recordings for Celoid, DSYC 1, 2, and 3. And then after that, that's when I kind of I got a deal with Greensleeves after being on Saxon. So I did Tippa Irie and the Colonel, Just a Speak, which was our first single. Then Good to Have the Feeling You're the Best. Hello Darling changed everything. That was the game changer for my career. It made me a household name.
And as I say, you know, you was young as well.
Yeah, still 19.
You were still a teenager.
We bought a house on the next street along.
From where we're sitting now?
Yeah, Broxton Road. So, yeah, that was like a real game changer, you know, because it went to #1 in the reggae charts. And then it wasn't, even though it wasn't really reggae, it was kind of like a swing, really like a pop tune. It was like, good pop tune, you might as well say. But it went to #1 in the reggae charts. And then I think it was Kid Jensen from Capital Radio. He heard it in a club and he started to play it on Capital. He got them to put it on a playlist. And then it just went from there. Then all of the DJs and, you know, they followed, and it just blew up. It just went straight into the pop charts. Boom. So Greensleeve was happy, you know, they got a hit tune. And I think Polydor or somebody like that wanted to give me a deal, but I just ignored it because I wanted to stay loyal to Greensleeves. You know what I mean? But, you know, maybe I should have taken the Polydor deal.
Greensleeves, another amazing label.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are. They did it. They had a lot of, you know, Headzine, Mr. Vegas, Shaggy, Old Carolina, Hello Darling, Tippa Irie, Freddie McGregor, Just Don't Want to Be Lonely. So they had a few tunes that went into the pop charts, but then obviously they had classic tunes like Gunman from Michael Prophet. You know, they had the early days, it was the Reggae Regulars, you know what I mean? Capital Letters, all these kind of band groups. And then, you know, they had the Eka Mouse, a whole heap of different Wadu Dem and Sleng Teng from Jammies. They released all of those tunes in the UK.
Another member of Saxon was Smiley Culture.
Yeah.
Another unbelievable, wicked talent. You know, he brought out Police Officer, which was another chart topper. I think that was in '84, around them. What was Smiley like, man? He come across such a nice guy and, like, you know, an absolutely wicked talent.
So me and Smiley got on okay. You know what I'm saying? Him and Asher were best of friends. They sparred together. And me and Asha is cool. He's another good brother. You know what I'm saying?
But there must have been like little rivalries back in the day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, because you know we went for things like we went for club mix, and me and I don't know if Colonel went. It was me and Colonel, and Smiley got it. You know what I'm saying? He was the one that he got on there, and he done that. So it's just like, you know, there's rivalry in that sense.
But there's also respect.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was competition, you know, it was like that with everything, because there was competition, even though we were on the same sound system, even with the Saxon MCs, it's still competition, because we still want to be the best. And that's why I wrote, it's good to have the feeling you're the best, because you have to feel like you're the best. You gotta say, yo, nobody no better than me. You know what I mean? And I felt that way about the sound. You know, that's why I wrote it's good to have the feeling you're the best, because I thought Saxon was the best sound. But then I also thought that as of myself, as an MC, it's good to have the feeling you're the best. Because as far as I'm concerned, don't matter who you are, you're not better than me. I'm striving to be number one. And that's what it was like.
And it's healthy competition, do you know what I mean? And you know, you have to be respectful about it all as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's respect is respect, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, there's football players that respect each other. Ronaldo and Messi.
But when you're on the pitch, it's a different situation,
right.
isn't it?
You know, there's no respect until the game's over. There's a respect, but you know, right now, that's not in the picture. I want to win. So that's what it's like. Even healthy, it's called healthy competition.
Is there kind of like some sound advice you can give to up and coming, you know, people within like reggae MCs or even or hip hop?
Well, health is wealth. You know, Maccabee's got an album called Health is Wealth, and so basically, you know, if you look after yourself, you know, you got more chance of, you know, standing up in a session or on stage or whatever. If you're abusing yourself too much, it's gonna be difficult for you to maintain. So, you know, you don't have to be teetotal, you know what I'm saying? You know, have a drink and, you know, and enjoy yourself, but everything in moderation. So, you know, but you need to, you know, exercise, train, clear out those lungs. You know what I mean? So that when I'm, you know, I find when every so often I used to smoke, but when I stop smoking, you know, and I'm voicing the tune and I've been training and my lungs are clear and whatever, it's just easy. You know, it's just, I just find it effortless, you know, but some people smoke their herb and that gives them their inspiration and their vibe off of that, and they still deliver, you know what I'm saying? But for me, you know, it's best to, you know, you got to try to be, you know, healthy as possible, because that will help you when you're performing on stage. You need to go from left to right and whatever. So you need to be fit. So, you know, it's definitely definitely a benefit to kind of like look after yourself.
Tippa, how did it make you feel? You know, when you're like rocking, toasting on the mic and like people are like, yes, like, you know, going crazy. Was it? Yeah. That must have made you feel like a king.
You feel good. You feel special. You know, but it's not even that you feel special. You just feel good that your music that you've taken time out to write. Some people are really appreciating it, and when you know, even today when they come up to me and say, yo, Tip, man, you don't really realize what you did for us when we were growing up. You know what I mean? And the appreciation and the respect and the fact that I'm still here today, still making new albums, you know, doing a book. So you're progressing. They can see the elevation. They can see you're not just stagnant. You know, you're not stale. You're creating new stuff. You're trying new things. You're trying to help people, not just yourself. So that's what you got to do, man. You got to try and, you know, so when people show you that adulation, it's a good feeling.
Another thing I love to talk about as well, Tippa, is fashion. You know, fashion back in the days, back in the 80s, you know, it was
The label or the clothes?
clothes, yeah.
Okay.
What clothes was you rocking back then, and where was you buying your garments from?
Bro, I'll be just a simpleton. You know, I am not no fashion icon whatsoever. Whatever was, you know, comfortable with me, that was me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, I guess I was boring because, you know, if you go into a wedding, you put on a suit. You go to a christening, you put on a nice shirt and whatever. And, you know, it's a birthday celebration. You try to dress up and make yourself look presentable. And, you know, obviously, if you're doing sports, you dress accordingly, whatever. So, you know, but in the dances, we were just like traveling up and down, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So it was kind of like hard to be dressed, you know, I don't know, stush all the time, you know what I mean? So we would like just have simple stuff. So, you know, normal stuff what people used to wear in the back in the day, crocodile shoes, Farrah pants, Gabici, then, you know, I used to just have some guys used to have the beaver cats, but I just had my own style. I just was different. I've always kind of had a different fashion kind of style, you know. My cousins, them, you know, I saw a picture the other day with my like 4 guys that I used to go around with from Acre Lane, and they were all in their jumpers and shirt and them look smart, and then I had on my hat and my boots, and, you know, I just looked completely different from them. So I think, you know, maybe I was eccentric, you know what I mean, a little different, and I think that's why I kind of stood out.
I know you look wicked. You all look great. Do you know what I mean? So especially, like, you know, there was a lot of gold going on as well, wasn't it? The gold thing, gold teeth,
and belchers and choperitas and
string vest styles. Clark's boots,
Clark boot and all them things. Then Kango hats.
Kangos, yeah.
It was a nice, unique kind of fashion, you know.
One thing I can't wait to talk to you about is your new book.
Yes.
Which is called Stick to My Roots.
Stick to My Roots.
So this is what we're here about. Listen, because I know I can go a lot more in depth with our interview, but listen, I want people to buy your book and get schooled with, you know, your book.
Yes, this knowledge,
Can you hold it up to the camera?
It's knowledge, man. It's knowledge. It's my autobiography. So all what we were speaking about earlier, it's in here.
Plus a lot more.
And plus a lot more. So it talks about me growing up in England, my parents growing up in Jamaica, coming from Jamaica to the UK, and us growing up in Britain. And then obviously it talks about my music career. It talks about Hello Darling, the success of that. It talks about me being an entrepreneur. It talks about, you know, jungle, Lovers Rock, you know. I've got Ali Campbell in here speaking, Maxi Priest is in here, Janet Kay is in here, Jumping Jack Frost is in here, my good friend Neil's my neighbor that lived across the road from me. He died recently, R.I.P. Neil. R.I.P. Yeah. I gave a couple of books to his sons, you know, so that they could, you know, their dad's actually in this book, you know what I mean? So it was a pleasure for me to go to his funeral, pay my respects, and give his sons them the book. So Neil's in here, you know, my good friend, my brethren, you know what I mean? We're gonna miss him, but R.I.P. to him. But he's in here telling the story about us growing up playing football in front of my dad's shop. Yeah, and there's a few other friends in here. That Grantley Haynes is in here, GT Records. He used to manage me and Pato Banton and Peter Spence back in the day. So he's in here telling the story as well about us and his relationship with me. And, you know, I'm really proud of this, you know what I'm saying?
I was going to say, Tippa, really you should stand proud for, you know, for what you've done and for your book, because you must feel so proud that you've wrote this autobiography and, you know, you've captured, you know, this is something you could have maybe wrote a long time back, but maybe now is the right time.
Yeah, my friend Mark Wallace helped me to write the book, you know. So Mark interviewed me 100 times, and then he dropped things down and jot it down, and then we'd read through it, and then I'd say, no, change this, change that, add this, add that. And we did that for 2 years. We did it in the lockdown, you know, because obviously nobody was working. So we thought it'd be the perfect time to write a book. So that's what we did, you know. So it's out now, it's on Amazon. So if you want to go to Amazon, you can buy it from there. You can buy it directly from me. I
just bought a copy, innit, Tippa?
You did. I'm going to sign it for you.
And I cannot wait to read it. That's going to be top of my list. While I'm sitting on one of the taxi ranks waiting for a job. I'm going to be pulling out the book and schooling myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's, you know, the publishers are called Jacaranda, and you can buy it from their website. And you can buy it directly from me at one of my gigs, because most of the time, wherever. So if you go to tippairie.com and click on tour, you can see where I'm performing. And I'll always have a copy of the book with me when I'm on the road. So if you want to buy it from me and get it signed, you can get it from me personally at one of my shows, or you can contact me at tippairie.com. My manager Lynn will assist you. Or you can go to Jacaranda, who are the publishers. You can go to their website. They've got a lot of other books there as well that are really good. You should check out. Or go to Amazon and, you know, all of the book places. You know, I don't know why it's not in W.H. Smith's, but it should be. W.H. Smith, you need to be stocking this book.
Listen, we're going to tag you in, and you need to be selling Tippa's book.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a good read.
I can't wait to see it. And I know there's some pictures. Don't open the book, but I know there's some wicked pictures in there as well.
Yeah, some pictures of the family, some of the artists that I've worked with, you know, some of the famous people that I've met along the way. I've met some crazy people. Even Gene Kelly I met in France back in the day. I wish I took a picture of him with him. I don't know why I didn't. But
well, that was probably before the phone times, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah. No, definitely it was.
So you weren't really carrying a camera.
No.
But Tippa, listen, you stand proud of your achievement. You know, it's absolutely amazing what you've done.
Thank you.
And I cannot wait to read the book. I'm really hyped about it. One of my last questions, the last question I want to talk about. You know, there's a lot of anger and frustration. You know, I feel with some of the younger generation, it saddens me to see some of the aggression and fighting and all that. Is there kind of like a positive kind of message that you can send to the younger generation? You know, the ones that are kind of struggling and battling and...
Well, first we'd say don't give up. You know, sometimes when it really feels hard, it feels tough, and you feel like you just want to give up, you know, don't give up. You know, try to seek, you know, there's a lot of people out there that love you and that want to see you progress and want to see you strive and want you to see you do better for yourself. So don't give up, you know, try to embrace people, because a lot of the time the youths, them just need some love, you know, they just need somebody to hug them and say, yo, you know,
100%.
You know, we're backing you and we're supporting you.
And we believe in you.
And we believe in you, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes that's what they need, you know what I mean? So you just got to know, to the youths out there, we're not giving up on you. We love you. We want you to do the right thing. We know sometimes you've grown up, when kids are having kids, that's part of the problem as well. When young kids are having kids and they're, you know, not interested in bringing up their kids, they're more interested in, because they're so young, they still want to be kids. They still want to go out and party. They still want to go out and, you know, and do things.
And be kids.
Be kids, exactly. Yeah. So this is what the problem is. So, you know, we just got to let the youths them know that we're not giving up on them. We're still fighting for them, and we want you to study your book. Get knowledge is wisdom, and, you know, study your book, work hard, keep your head down, you know, keep away from the crime and the violence, and just, you know, study and get yourself some knowledge, and, you know, and push yourself.
And maybe become a role model, because being a role model makes you feel proud and makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, just look at, you know, try to focus on the people that have been successful and see how they do it, and read about them, learn about them. You know, that's what I'm saying. Read this book. I didn't have anything. You know what I mean? I grew up, you know, when I went for my football trials, I never had no Adidas Samba or no Adidas Gazelles or nothing. My plimsolls never had my trainers never had no name. You know what I mean? And I still made the team. In fact, I think I was playing in shoes. Yeah, I had toppers. You know, I don't know if you remember the shoes called toppers. Well, they're big kind of high heel kind of shoes. That's what I played my football in, and I still made the team. So it can
never give up.
No, you can't give up.
Never give up.
So in music as well, you know, people write you off. You know, they write you off and they put you down, and there's a lot of gatekeepers in the music business. You know what I'm saying? But people write you off and they say, you'll never get another hit. You know what I mean? And then I got a hit with will.i.am with the Black Eyed Peas. You know what I mean? And they were like, well, how did you do that? Yeah, because I'm talented. You know what I'm saying?
You're talented and you've never given up.
And you never give up.
And you believe in yourself, Tippa.
That's right.
You believe in yourself.
Yeah, so this is the key. So you have to, you know, believe in yourself. And when they write you off, make that be an encouragement. Make that inspire you. When they're writing you off and they're putting you down and this and that. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. You know, I did, you know, I've done, you know, you do stuff and you regret it and you think, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you got to just try to shrug off the mistake and apologize. If you're wrong, you have to apologize. You know what I mean? And hold your hands up and say, look, you know what? I messed up. I'm wrong. You know, hope you can forgive me. Let's move on. You know what I mean? If the person don't want to forgive you, then you've got to hold that, you know, and keep it moving and press on still. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, you know. But just try to be positive. Keep your head up. You know that there is people out there that are fighting for you and wants to use them to be. And
they got their corner.
That's right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of good people out there within the communities, the unsung heroes. You know, it doesn't matter whether, you know, you're running kind of like a Brownies, your Scouts, or kind of a boxing gym. You know, whatever it is, there's so much good people out there doing good things and positive things for the communities. Yeah, they're the ones that we need to shine the light on, because...
Well, this is it, you know, because unfortunately the powers at be, you know, I mean, our Prime Minister, his wife is richer than the King. You know, so he could change a lot. They could change a lot of lives. All of these youth centres and stuff that they've shut down, they could open them. You know, they could take the youths off the street. They could help the NHS. They can help, you know, they can pay doctors properly so people can get doctors' appointments. You know what I mean? And this is the problem what we face, you know. So unfortunately, you know, we have to stand up. And if the people in Britain, we need to stand up, you know.
Stand up and be counted.
Be counted, you know. I mean, I don't want to mess up your interview, but it's sometimes it is we need to say these things because people are just
listen, Tippa, you're not messing up my interview. What you're saying is more important than any interview we've done. I love talking about unity and positivity.
That's right. But what it just amazes me why they don't want that. Why do they want to just keep people oppressed? Why are they making cars people can't afford to insure their cars because they want them off the road? You know what I mean? Why are they not sorting out the hospitals? Why are they not sorting out the schools? Why wouldn't you want people to live? The world could be I've been all over the world, bro. So I've seen the beauty of this planet. Because I've been, whether it be the 52 states of America, whether it be Australia, whether it be parts of Africa, India, Thailand, the Caribbean, all of the countries in Europe, you know, I've been to all of them. You know what I'm saying? There's other parts of the world, you know, that I've been to that are just beautiful. And I just don't know why they're just so hell-bent with all of this destruction and war.
But
anyway, thank you for the interview,
Tippa,
sir.
what can I say? You're an absolute legend.
Much respect, sir.
As I say, a massive inspiration.
Thank you.
And anyone watching this, please go and support Tippa and buy his book, you know, Stick to My Roots.
Stick to My Roots. Check it out. And tippairie.com. If you go to tippairie.com, all of my gigs are there.
And what I'll do, I'll put Tippa's link in the description box below, and please leave a comment on this interview, because you know Tippa is an absolute legend. Big shout out to Saxon, big shout out to all the other sound systems in London and also out of London as well. You know, it kind of, this reggae vibe, you know, hits so many people within the UK. You know, it's an incredible scene. So you listen, Tippa, big up my man.
Thank you guys, and thank you for the interview, my brother. Much respect.